Hey sis, are you trying to like protect your peace right now? And like what's been hard is maybe like not wanting to become cold in the process of protecting your peace. Like you've been learning to set your boundaries, learning to kind of step back some, and learning not to like overextend yourself. But now it feels like maybe like you're either too open or starting to just shut down all completely. So now you're left with wondering, like, how do I protect myself without losing my heart? Hmm. Or, like, how do I stay kind without getting drained or draining myself? If that's you, let's talk about it. Because if you don't set your boundaries, people will literally drain you. Yep. And you may feel like you're starting to feel like distance or even cold when you start setting your boundaries. But just know that, like, you don't have to become hardened in order to protect your peace. Yep. So let me explain, like, why you may struggle and, like, what happens sometimes when people are trying to balance, like, having boundaries but not being too hard or too harsh. So when people go through like difficult relationships, that could be like intimately, that could be with family, friends, or whatever, any coworker, any type of relationships. When people go through that, or if they go through like repeated emotional stress, they often swing between like two different extremes. It could be either like overgiving or shutting down. Yeah. Some people go all the way to either overgiving or just say, you know what, I'm just shutting down. I'm not giving nothing. So instead of finding a balance, what sometimes happens is they go just from one side to the other. Yep. And what's happening is it's your nervous system is trying to protect you. And so if you being open in the past to someone that led you, so let me explain it like this. If in the past you were open and honest and just so transparent with somebody, and that led you to being like hurt, overwhelmed, or even emotionally exhausted, then your system may respond by saying something like shut down. Like emotionally, like internally, your nervous system may just be telling itself just to shut down because it's saying that's safer just to shut down altogether. Let me give you like an analogy of what's happening if that wasn't like clear, but it's like with the music. Say you're listening to music and you either turn the volume all the way up, just crank it, or crank it all the way down, not going in the middle. That's kind of how that's the analogy. It either goes all the way up or all the way down. It doesn't like slide and go in the middle to see what's comfortable. It just jumps there or jumps there. So that's what's happening like with your nervous system. But peace is actually what's in the middle. So you need that middle because that's where your peace is going to be. Okay. And so let's talk about what like hardening looks like. If you're wondering, well, Melinda, how will I know if I'm hardening? Okay, let's talk about it. You may notice some things like becoming emotionally distant, like not wanting to engage, or like shutting people out, or even losing your sense of softness as a person. So I know personally I had to kind of balance this because I'm such a giving person, understanding and listening ear and all that stuff. But then sometimes I have to actually set boundaries and just, say, okay, I'm not going to be, it's not cold. You feel like it is because you're used to just giving, 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 doing, doing, doing. But you have to kind of be in the middle, not like shutting everybody out, but just shutting off things that don't really concern you or things that you don't need to be doing. Other people could do themselves or things like that. And while it may feel like protection, it can also block connections if you just shut people out. Because if you say I'm never doing that again, I set my boundaries now, and this is it. That's it. Nobody else is getting in. Now you may block your blessing in any type of connection because you shut everybody and everything out. So let's talk about like what healthy protection actually looks like, because that's where the shift happens when you turn it into healthy. So what happens is you still stay kind. You don't let people change you. Just because a person is a certain way, don't you be like that, because that's not you. That's not you anyway. So it won't feel right in your spirit anyway, because if you're not that type of person, it's gonna feel off, and you'll feel like you're off if you're dealing with something like that, and you just get cold and mean. So you want to stay open, be open. But while you're staying open, you still also want to be aware. That means still pay attention, just be open. Okay. You can care, but you don't have to carry. What does that mean, Melinda? That means that if somebody's calling you or pulling on you for all this stuff, or they need all this stuff, or like, let's say money. I had a situation where, if somebody asking for money or something like that, okay, I care that they don't have enough money, but that's not my burden to carry, because they're able body and they can work. They're choosing not to work, so I care, but I'm not gonna carry you with all my finances. Does that make sense? So like, or somebody has an attitude because they're not happy with a situation, or they're not happy with something within themselves. I mean, I care because emotionally that's not healthy for you to walk around mad all the time. It's not healthy for you to be accusatory and all that stuff all the time, or trying to be judgmental. I care, but I'm not going to carry what you think, because I don't have to it's not me. I don't have to live like that. So I do care that you are spiraling into a negativity and a negative aspect, but that's not me. I'm not that type of person, so I'm not going to carry your burden. That's not mine to carry. So if you're going to walk around mad, upset, or whatever, then you can go ahead, because I'm going to go ahead and keep doing what I do that makes me happy. So that's how you kind of do that. And so let's talk about what happens within your body as these things are shifting. So sometimes you'll have an urge for it to shut down, like, because if you get overwhelmed and you feel like I'm just tired of this and you just want to shut down, you may have an urge to where you just want to shut down. But that is actually your nervous system trying to protect you. Yep. And so you don't want to stay in that state though. It's trying to protect you. It may tell you, hey, slow down, get out of this, don't do this. But that doesn't mean you need to stay there, because it's just your nervous system trying to protect you. Okay. It's just giving you an awareness signal, or signal. And your mind may say, again, I need to protect myself. I need to, some protection. But that does not mean to stay closed off, sis. So I want to make sure that I clarify that. Just because you're protecting yourself, don't close yourself off to everything and anybody, because you'll block blessings. And so here's some steps you can take. I research a lot of stuff, and just to learn about it myself, and then also so I can bring it to you, because I'm a nurse, and so I love researching stuff that's emotionally gonna help us grow. So here's some practical steps. Okay, so one, pause before you react. Okay, so I literally had to do this recently. Like sometimes you want to say things, but then it's like you have to tell yourself, what's the benefit of it, or is it necessary, or is that gonna, impact my peace? Because if I'm happy in a good mood and way up here, and I let somebody else, whatever their comment is, whatever they have to say, if I let that bother me, now that's gonna shift my mood. So what I do now is I pause before I react. I'm not shutting down. I just may not react to that. Because some things, honestly, it's not even worth your reaction anyway. Like some things don't even make sense to react to because whatever somebody might be saying or doing, it may be a non factor or they may even be a non factor. So what's the point? You know what I'm saying? Number two, you can set clear boundaries without over explaining. Like somebody's calling you for some money or whatever, and you're like, nope, I don't have it this week. I'm not going to be able to do it. You don't have to go into, well, maybe next week, or, I had to pay this, I had to pay that. Nope, I don't have it this week. Okay. Number three, stay emotionally aware, which means you're aware but not emotionally overwhelmed. Okay? Don't overwhelm yourself. Number four, regulate your body, meaning your breaths. I know I talk about deep breathing and all that, but I'm a nurse and I'm always trying to help you to regulate. And those breaths do help. Like if you feel yourself getting worked up, you literally could just be like, Lord, take the wheel. Jesus, take the wheel, or whatever your words are. Just do that 3 to 5 times, and it'll help you just to stay grounded. Um, choose five. Choose response over reaction. So like, don't match their energy just because like some people, they love to say negative stuff, or they'll try to bring you down, or they'll give you a backhanded compliment. And for those who don't know what a backhanded compliment is, they may say something like, oh, you are so smart and you're so successful, but if you don't take hold of this situation, this can come back to bite you. Or you're smart, but I thought you was smarter than that. I thought you would have made better decisions than that. Okay, so first of all, stop and think about it. That's their own personal opinion. They don't even necessarily know all the trials and tribulations you've been through. They don't even know everything, all your accomplishments, and even if they do, so what? That's their point of view. It's their story. Let them tell it how they want to. So don't let yourself get tangled up, because if you let yourself live and think about what everybody has to say all the time, you will be at a constant perpetual cycle of trying to please all these people that don't even matter. Like if however old you are, like for me, and I'm gonna tell my age. I know I look younger because people tell me, but I'm 53 years old. I don't need somebody to teach me now how to live or how to do this or how to do that. I've come to be pretty successful in the decisions that I made, the education, the self development, and things like that. So I think my number one message out of all of this is know who you are and whose you are, because people will have you in a tailspin if you listen to what they say. Now you going backwards to how they probably lived, and you probably don't even live like that. Or how everybody does things differently, and just because somebody does it this way doesn't mean it's wrong, as long as they get to the finish line how they want to get, or how they was raised, or whatever the case may be. That's their story. They can tell it how they want to, and your story is your story. So don't let nobody ever just kind of make you twist things and think something to go a different route when you know you're on the right route. And first of all, you seek God, because He's always going to give you the right plan, because He knows the beginning and the end. Okay? So the main thing is you can protect your peace without losing your heart. Okay? But don't match people's energy, because sometimes people are just negative and they do spiteful things and say spiteful things, but don't bring yourself to that level. Okay? And so just remember, God did not call you to be hard. He did not call you to be hard. He called you to love, but also to guard your heart. Okay, so make sure you do that. And so, what does that mean? That means that you could be compassionate without being consumed. And so, just make sure that you are being compassionate, but don't let somebody pull you up into their drama or whatever they have, their chaos that they have going on. Okay, so you can balance having boundaries, but still be soft and still have a heart. Okay, you can do that. So, if you've been feeling like you are shutting down or you have shut down, just protect your peace. Because for me, I'm telling you, sis, peace is everything to me. Like, I literally cannot function if I'm not in peace. And that's why I don't carry on everything everybody says. I don't carry on everybody's baggage. I've never been like that. And I don't plan on starting right now. And so there's just times where you have to just kind of go in your solitude to get back to your woosah moment, whatever that looks like for you. But just don't shut down. Just don't shut all the way down. Just protect your peace. And I want you to understand too, like I said, you don't have to be cold. You don't have to become distant, and you don't have to lose your softness, because your softness, that's part of who you are. Not soft as in people can walk over you, but yet you have a heart, you're a genuine person. And sometimes when you go through things or you're around certain people, sometimes it'll make you question and you'll feel like you're losing it. So don't let yourself lose your softness, okay? And so once you do that, you can stay grounded, you can stay kind, you can still protect your peace. Okay, so I hope this message helped you. If it does, please like and subscribe. Also, give me a thumbs up if this helped you, if you could relate to this message. And as always, just to let you know, for those that are new, my name's Melinda. I'm a registered nurse, a life coach, and a mentor. And on our channel, we focus on faith, healing, and emotional wellness. Okay, and I'm always looking at research or looking at how we can like level ourselves up to live our best lives and to stay as regulated as we can and have peace. And I'm always going to wish you, as I am now, I'm wishing you peace, love, joy, and happiness.